I'm Tanner Olson, and this is the Walk a Little Slower podcast. Here we talk about hope and heaviness, joy and sorrow, life and God, questions and answers, and everything in between. This is a podcast where you are invited to slow down, to lean in, to hold fast, and to eventually keep going. Welcome. Welcome back to another episode of the Walk a Little Slower podcast. If you're new around here, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast if you would like to. There'll be a bunch of links in the show notes as well, so after you're done listening, if you want to check those out, you are more than welcome to. And as always, you're welcome to pass this episode along to a friend. There's not much more to the intro. That's really everything. So with that, here is episode 48 of the Walk a Little Slower podcast. Last month, I created a new feature on my website for anyone to send in an anonymous message or question to me. And I received this email the other day. It reads this. Hi, Tanner. I don't have a question, but I just needed to tell someone this. I'm tired. I'm tired from all the things I have to do. And I am tired from all the things I have already done. More than that, I am tired of what life has become, or maybe more of what life has not become. All the dreams and plans I have had for my life have not turned out the way I thought they would. I'm not married, or a parent, or even in the career I thought that I would be working in. Every time I get on social media, I am reminded that my life did not turn out the way I thought it would. I see friends from college with the life I wanted for myself. And I gotta tell you, it hurts. I am tired of feeling like where I am is not where I want to be. And I just want to trust that what comes next is going to be something good. Thanks for listening. This message, it feels familiar. And maybe it feels familiar for you as well. Tired and behind and hurt and stuck and uncertain. And maybe we aren't searching for answers or advice or directions. Maybe we just need to say this is how we feel. Something happens when we open up and share what we are feeling. A few weeks ago, I was having one of those weeks. I was in a funk. I felt sad and behind and stuck in all the things I did not want to feel. And maybe it was the absence of the sunshine or the arrival of the holidays, or because I too just felt tired. I went to the coffee shop that morning, and after a while, I realized that I needed to tell someone how I was feeling. And so I texted my wife. I told her how I was feeling and what was going on inside of my head. I told her that I didn't want to talk about it, but I just needed to tell someone. And I felt better. It was like one big, honest exhale. And sometimes we just need to say how life is for us, even if how life is for us isn't what we wish or want it to be. After sending the text, I still felt the way I felt, but I no longer felt like I had to carry what I felt by myself. Someone else knew, and someone else was praying. And sometimes I think I have to carry everything inside of me by myself. The hurt and the questions, the fears and the uncertainties. But I don't. And you don't. Now I can't put it all on someone else or expect someone to carry all of how I feel, and I certainly cannot put all of my broken dreams or hurt in their hands, but what I'm learning is I do not have to carry it all on my own. I can be helped. I can ask for help. And I know that I can bring all of this to God too. I can bring Him my tiredness and my questions and my frustrations, and I can bring Him my feelings. Through it all, the invitation to speak with Him, it remains open, an open hand outstretched to sit and be with the giver of grace. And I used to think that I had to have all the right words to pray. But I'm learning there isn't a wrong way to pray. Praying is less like math and more like art, like poetry. God isn't grading us or checking our work. He's listening. He's taking it in. He's admiring. He's holding us as we hold on. He's holding us as we let go. Either way, God is holding on to us. I want to close this episode with a short poem titled, Without Knowing What Comes Next. And it goes like this. I'm opening my hands and looking up as I'm learning to make room for not knowing. And God knows all I want is to know. But I've been pushing aside my need for the answer and have been drawing close to the mystery. For as frustrating as it may be, it is beautiful. And little by little, I'm starting to see that the mystery is what He has for me. But God knows I still want to know. I want the reason for why and how. I want to know when and where and what, but what? What if what I need is to not know? The answers are better kept in the hands of the giver, and He is still giving. He may not be giving what I want, but I have to believe He continues to give what I need. Perhaps I have all I need to know in this. I am not forgotten. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Walk a Little Slower podcast. Special thanks to Matt Daring for creating the music for this podcast. For more from Matt, check the show notes. And then visit writtentospeak.com to check out the latest blog, grab books, or you could even book me for an upcoming event at your church or your school or a conference or whatever it may be. Or if you just want to send a message, you can do the same from there. And if you would like to support this podcast and my ministry, go ahead and visit patreon.com/writtentospeak to become a patron. Your monthly donations, they allow me to spread hope and announce love through written and spoken word, just like this podcast. All right, that'll do it for this episode. Before you move on to the next thing, make sure to subscribe to the podcast, leave a review if you would like, and check out the show notes. I'll be back next Monday with another episode. Much love. I'll see you.